So, I'm Hawkins. I'm an Agile coach, and this is a condensed version of a section of training that I give called When the Wheels Come Off Agile. And I actually added this to my orientation training because over the years I've seen a certain collection of things so repeatedly derail Agile adoptions that I basically made them into a training section. So I'll get right to it. First thing that typically does it is rejection of practices out of hand. Bear in mind that when you attempt to adopt Scrum or XP, these are 15 and 16-year-old methodologies. They're not a fad that just kicked up after the new millennium. And they were designed with a minimalist perspective in mind. These things that exist because they need to. So before you start yanking out things like stand-ups or retrospectives or sprint planning, try to understand what they actually were meant for, because I think you'll find that they have a specific purpose. The abandonment of design. You'll actually find people that think because Ken Schwaber's book doesn't have anything about the fact that you need to still strategically design software, that apparently that's out the bag. Wrong. That is the guaranteed way to end up with, once you get your Agile process running, you'll generate this really big disjointed haystack of functionality that's ossified and hard to extend or innovate with. Overscheduling. So when people start to get the hang of velocity and how to plan sprints and so forth, they get anxious because, of course, they told their boss this is going to make us that much more productive. So they feel somehow that they're supposed to just continue to climb asymptotically toward infinity in how much work they can do. It's not the case. You're going to end up having people work more than their normal hours, and then you'll get the turnover, which is an issue I'll talk about later. Absolute instead of relative estimation. Humans suck at absolute estimation. There are studies that show this that I don't have time to go into. But relative estimation, they're actually pretty good at. So asking people, how many story points is this versus how many ideal days or ideal hours is this thing going to take, is generally more productive. So get out of the hours trap. Inflexible estimates. Estimates are estimates. They are not prophecies. They will change as your understanding of what you're trying to do develops. And so those estimates need to be able to go up and down. Otherwise, you end up with 2-week waterfalls, which is basically the same kind of pain more often. Concurrency obsession. Humans are obsessed with the illusion of concurrency and their ability to master it. This just in, humans suck at concurrency, and they really can work up an Agile process by insisting on doing it. The way that I see this most often at the individual level within teams is they insist on pulling out more than one story at a time and task switching across all of them. And so what I have to do is coach people to say, no, stick to one story, clear it off, then let's look at another one. Stop multitasking because that context switching is a very common source of waste. Downstream dumping. I call downstream dumping when you have a team where the Agile team is just development or just QA. They define a sprint and they take off and they're going to conquer the world. They do buttloads of work, and then 2 days before the 2-week sprint ends, they take it to the next people down the chain and go, here you go, and then they go have their release party and, woo, look at what we completed, we got this awesome velocity. No, fool, what you did was, you queued up a bunch of work, stated a deadline to the organization at large on when it was going to be ready, and handed a time bomb off to the people just down the cube from you. And so now they're faced with the moral dilemma of, do they be the turd in the punch bowl and say, sorry, this can't go? Or do they say, screw it, I'm tired of being the bad guy? And the final thing is team volatility. When your team makeup changes by even one person, you have a new team. The velocity you had dialed in, the way of working together and interacting, is very specific to the makeup that's in that team. So actually when you're doing Agile, it actually underscores the need to ensure that you have a healthy culture so that you retain your employees and don't keep resetting the clock every 4, 6, 12 weeks. And that's it, bro.